go get washed. Some of y'all just go pop shit. Some of y'all just go talk. And none of y'all ain't really got shit. Check.
All right, let's start with this. It's not really a bonnet, but you know, scarf, whatever. Ooh, y'all, look at them baby hairs. Hey, but look, I've had this in 3 weeks. I just washed it last night. But the trick is you gotta wash it and then you gotta pour oil on it. You know, lay it, preferably like a scarf so you can like lay it down or like whatever, something tight. And then the next morning, this is, you know, since now it's all laid back and moisturized and there's not water in it, then I can use gel or whatever to, you know, touch it up more. Them bags. Anyways, talking about my bags, they need to get checked. You can't carry these on no more. This is why I can't ever get ready or like really do anything, because I want music, but then I'd be like vibing to the music and like don't do what I'm supposed to be doing. I never put on a lot of makeup anyways, so it's hard to be like, oh, I'm not gonna put a lot on today, because you never do Mac. I'm doing this right and not forgetting something, because Lord knows if I'm gonna do one thing, it's gonna be forget something. For sure. I really just be doing shit and seeing how it turns out. Everything is really subjective for everybody. Like, just because it works for me doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. Just because it works for you doesn't mean that's the only way to do something. Just remember, take everything that people say with a grain of salt, and you know, kids, don't believe everything you see on social media. Because they really be on there trying to get y'all. I fall victim to it too. Don't even trip, because I'd be like, dang, that'd be so nice right now. At some point, like, I'm gonna get it. That's just, you know, when it happens at different times and everybody else, you'd be like, so what's the holdup? Let me just let y'all know, like, the last 2 years, technically 2.5-ish, I should say, it is 2025. The last whatever the hell has been going on, like, we've been thugging it out, for real. I really didn't have another choice. Not even like bad situations, but just in a lot of situations where like I don't have a choice but to like see what happens, because that's just the better option. Because I am hard-headed, like, for sure. How many times? How many times are we gonna do this? Like, Matt, whoa, girl, what are we doing? Do better, please. That's the first step, is admitting there's a problem, because for you to be, well, for me to be able to be like, girl, cool, but like just starting to ask myself, like, okay, so just even beginning to be like, okay, why do we think this is a problem? Like, why is it not good for you to like be impulsive or like lash out and like just say, you know, whatever, without thinking about it? Like, why is that a problem? Well, because historically, then, and I'm speaking like myself, then you say things that you don't actually mean, or you say it impulsively to like try to like get back at the person, but then when you realize like how much you hurt their feelings, like that's not really what your intentions were. Like, you were just wanting to be heard and like blah blah whatever, and since you felt like you weren't heard, then you lashed out. So like, you know, it's a problem because one, you hurt people's feelings, but two, that's just not what you were trying to do, at least in my sense. So it just, and in return, like, hurt me more. And then what causes a problem, which I kind of talked about that, like, you know, you're feeling not seen, not heard, you're upset, your feelings are hurt, so you're trying to make them feel how you feel. And in a way, like, sometimes I feel like people do that just to, like, not even to get back or like make you really feel bad, but like in a way of like understanding, like, this is how I felt, and I feel like the only way to get you to understand me is to make you feel that way too, which is not really how you should do it. But then you also have to learn that, like, how do you get that point across without lashing out or crashing out or like whatever you want to say. I always revert back to why, because I feel like that really puts in perspective a lot more things than people realize. When people talk about like their career paths or like inspiration or whatever, like, why or what is inspiring you, or like what, you know, what's causing it, why is literally always the perfect place to start for anything. I feel like I've been kind of slowly reverting to that, or like getting into that mindset for a while, but like still on top of all of that, probably a lot of the changes that happened gave me the ability to have time to myself to actually think about those things instead of constantly trying to move to the next thing. I mean, yeah, a lot of it was that, whether it was subconsciously or not, because I was just always like, whatever, like, we'll just keep on pushing, but like to not process those feelings, especially when I was upset, and like really hurt, versus just kind of like, okay, it, you know, just kept getting shoved in there. So definitely had to actually be like, okay, this was not cool, I didn't like this, and let myself feel that way, and then move past it, which I've gotten not really good at, but like better at, just kind of like feeling those feelings, letting it go, you know, through process or whatever, and then I'm fine. So I think a lot of people take that as like, I don't know, quick to forgive, or like don't really get mad. But I just have to be better at like, you know, realizing, because you can also have your feelings hurt when the person wasn't even trying to hurt your feelings, and they also like, that was not their intention, and it doesn't make them a bad person. So you can definitely get your feelings hurt by something that someone said or did. You misspeak, or you said something, you didn't know all the information or whatever else. Like, I feel like that happens a lot. Like, people make mistakes. So it can definitely be a misunderstanding that really hurts your feelings, but it still doesn't make the other person a bad person for doing whatever they did. I was trying to figure out if it was really me who did anything wrong, or if someone's just trying to make me feel that way, because that happens a lot too. Because I can see both sides to a lot of things. Tell people they're wrong instead of just being like, yeah, they're wrong, but they don't realize it. But like telling them like, that's not right for you to do that, or for you to act like that. I guess in regards to like how it makes me feel, I actually hate that. A lot of realizations of like, I was helping people way too much. And the crazy part is, I don't remember how long, but for a long time, I told people, hey, just FYI, like, it's getting a little, you know, a little overwhelmed over here. You know, I feel like I'm trying to be there and whatever for everybody. I'm not really getting that same feeling back. So, or at least I need just, you know, more time to myself to recoup, instead of being completely submerged in everybody else's stuff, or, you know, just even like to do my own stuff or take care of my own things. I don't have time to do that. Yeah, I definitely was, because that's another thing, is I feel like I'm the type of person that like might, when something doesn't go my way, or I feel some type of way, instead of talking about it, I just kind of, you know, just disappear, I guess. And for a while, I kind of thought that like I did that, and like the fact that I didn't really want to talk about it, you know, made me, I don't know, hateful or whatever. But then I remember, I told you bitches. I told everybody I was getting overwhelmed. I told everybody, you know, I have a lot going on. I had a career change, like income drop, like completely like half of what I was making before. So, you know, of course, I'm not able to do the same things, go the same places, you know, or as often as I was before. And everybody took it personal. Everybody's like, oh my God, why are you not hanging out with us anymore? Why don't you? Because for real, even to begin with, a lot of the things that I was doing was fun, things that either just for the excitement of everything, so I wasn't really like used to doing it, or like living in the city, like doing all those city things because like I live in the city now, like of course, like why not? But necessarily wasn't like my favorite thing to do. So like the partying in the bars, it's fun. I would rather be at home with a bunch of my friends, hanging out in our own space, doing our own thing, you know, blah, blah, whatever. Because I still do like the like sports environment and stuff like that, you know, at home, not around a bunch of people that I don't care about. So yeah, trying to do things with friends for the sake of them. And then, you know, of course, when I'm like, hey, let's do this, or I want to do something like this, or blah, blah, whatever, everyone's like, no, I don't really want to do that. I'm like, okay, but let there, you know, be something at a club or whatever that comes up, and now, you know, of course they want to do something. It's like, okay, cool, whatever. So I just figured if I wanted to hang out with them, that I would have to do the stuff that they wanted to do and never what I wanted to do. And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like I said, I didn't really at the time hate what I was doing, and I got to hang out with my friends, so I was like, you know what, whatever, it's fine, maybe I'm just complaining. But yeah, so then when I'm like burnt out and whatever else, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna take a second to myself. Everybody's like, no, what are you doing, why aren't you hanging out with us anymore, what's the problem, why don't you like us? And I'm like, that's not the issue. But like, one, I'm tired of doing that stuff that you guys are doing. Two, I don't really, like I said, have the same amount of funds that I did. So, you know, what I want to do is kind of like changing. Not like what I want to do, but like, you know, can we do more like at home, or like even just like not low vibrational, but like low stimulus things? Because again, I'm getting burnt out. I'm getting overstimulated. Like, and so I just don't want to do the same things for like a lot of different reasons. And I felt like everybody just took it super personal. And I was just like, what? Like, this ain't got nothing to do with y'all at all. And the fact that I'm telling you, like literally so upfront with like what the issue is, and you're still taking it personal, fuck out of my face. Like, I was just so beside myself and could not understand, like, am I really not explaining this well? Am I really not, like, no, it was the audience. They wasn't trying to listen, or they were just trying to, like, because like I said, at least a couple months I was like, hey, look, like, cool, but like, I'm gonna need y'all to like stop asking me to do stuff, I'm gonna need y'all to leave me alone, like all these things. And yeah, it was at least a couple months. Maybe that wasn't enough time, what's the word, notice. But yeah, no, people can't say that I just like, because then I'm sure, yeah, I got a little, I don't even think I did get mean or whatever. I was just like, no, I don't want to hang out, no, I'd rather do this. Or, you know, if you're doing something besides going to a fucking bar, let me know. Yeah, took it personal. Because there was other stuff I would do that cost less money, or, you know, not as much outside or external stimulation or whatever. And people were like, well, you didn't go out with me and do this when I wanted to. Well, that's because I told you that I don't want to do that stuff anymore. And you keep inviting me to do stuff like that, so I'm going to keep telling you no. So, Yeah, and then from there, life was just up. So I forgot to mention that there is a link in my bio that takes you to like my digital profile. Shows you like kind of what else I have for content. But there is a link for my digital journal. And so that is kind of like a poem book, but it gives you like a blank page to also, so there's a prompt on there, so you can use a prompt to inspire poetry, or you can just write down your thoughts of like what my poem made you think, or things that came to mind, or stuff like that. So it's like poems, but it's also kind of like journaling. So it's only $10. You can use the link to go to Canva. You can sign up. You have to be signed in, but it's free. And then you can, edit it and type that way. It's more like a text box typing. But if you want to do like handwritten, kind of like on your iPad or whatever, you can download the PDF file that will also be sent to you into like a note taking app, and then you can do your like handwritten iPad things on there, or you can print it off, the PFD or PDF file, and handwrite like with pen or pencil or whatever you want to do. So there's a couple different options, digital or physical, but yeah.